Welcome back to another video. Today I am discussing why Bleach isn't as big as the other two big three members, or why it gets consistently disrespected. One, we know one thing about Bleach, it's a phenomenal anime. I highly regard anyone to go back and watch the original Bleach, if anyway, just because a lot of people just got into it because of the 1,000-Year Blood War. But original Bleach, phenomenal. And in case of anything, people just don't dislike Ichigo as an MC. I don't really understand it. I think Ichigo is just a regular dude that gets dragged into most of this stuff. He has no goals. He doesn't want to be head captain. He's technically not dead, and he wants to finish his studies in the human world. So I completely understand. He's not Luffy or Naruto aiming for a dream or the top. He's just there, to be fair. Which, I mean, Ichigo is the most relatable to how real life people would have taken on a isekai world. Be like, why am I here? Well, why are they in my room? Why I always gotta fight for these people? I'll still do it, but come on. On top of that, Bleach doesn't have any good mediums outside of its anime. What I mean is, there is a Bleach game a long time ago. That is very good, but there's not been a Bleach game since. I know the Bleach game Rising Souls came out. That's doing numbers, so that's phenomenal. But before that, no Bleach game. There was probably one or two Bleach movies in between with the hiatus between the 1,000-Year Blood War. But if there wasn't, that's another reason. There's no been content, and Naruto only ended in 2016, and then about a year or two later, Boruto drops, of course. So you still have Naruto content, even though Naruto is not directly involved, as well as the last movie. And people just grew up with Naruto. Many people don't have Bleach as their first anime. Their first anime is Naruto, and Naruto has the best mediums out of the big three, which is video games goes to Naruto. The anime, at least for me, goes to Naruto. The movies goes to Naruto. That beats out One Piece movies, and One Piece movies are goated. Just not all of them hit as much as all of Naruto's movies, I ain't gonna lie to you. As well as there really isn't that. I couldn't name you a Bleach movie. I could not. There's Bleach movies out there, of course, but I couldn't name you one to save a life. Of course, so Bleach isn't really something you get into. Also, there's simple meanings in Naruto and One Piece, easier to grasp, so easier for people to watch. Of course, and One Piece now has become a trend for people to watch. Before, people didn't watch One Piece because you got the concern that 500 episode mark. People kept saying it's too long, I don't feel like catching up. Then of course the 2020 happened. A lot of people caught up on One Piece, and now it's the most popular anime around right now. Outside of if DBZ, JJK, Demon Slayer is airing, One Piece is right there along with the popularity. So it's been consistent with its content. One Piece really doesn't take a break for content. They took like 6 months, but that was recently. Outside of that, yeah, they're just Bleach doesn't compete with them in the media intermediary. They have a really goated video game right now, but video games go up and down. Some die, some sustain, but most die. The Bleach game seems like it's here to stay. Let's see how that goes. I personally don't play it, but if this gets like 10 likes, I'll buy it and play it on stream. Yeah, I stream sometimes, but I could stream it. Why not? Outside of that, yeah, Naruto is everyone's childhood anime. It's my childhood anime, so I could never put Bleach over it. And Bleach has more complex meanings, studies, stuff that you have to really look deeper into, more adult meanings rather than the basic of Naruto trying to change the world, or Luffy trying to just get to the top of the pirate world to seek the ultimate freedom. While Ichigo doesn't really have a goal in mind, but Aizen, Kisuke, two sides of the same coin. Gen's mentality, Unohana's mentality, Kenpachi's mentality, more and more people's mentality that you have to look into, what they're fighting for, what they're fighting against, is a lot deeper than them just having cool fights. And you would have to understand that and their power system to really understand what's going on in Bleach in totality. Plus, I would give Bleach now the best rewatchability just because Thousand Year Blood War is out, so it does have better animation than Naruto. I personally will never rewatch Bleach. I think you could rewatch Bleach. I actually wouldn't rewatch any of the big three except maybe Naruto, but since there's different media intermediaries like video games to play through the whole story, I'm just gonna play the video game better, and I could waste less time watching the show. While Bleach, you don't have that. You have to watch the anime, or you have to hear about it through a YouTube video, and which many people do. But I like the intermediary where you could play the games so much, and there was games consistently, if there was games consistently coming out for Bleach, where you could keep up with the story and maybe even get spoiled, because Storm Force spoiled the end of Naruto versus Sasuke, even though the fight was a little bit different from the anime to the video game and the manga a little bit. So yeah, while One Piece doesn't have the best video games, it's just consistently been there, and now it has the animation to back it up, along with the story now coming together and the trend because of the recent couple of years. Everyone was able to catch up to One Piece, so it's been fantastic for One Piece to be a popular trend nowadays. Now, One Piece is, of course, going to finish in the next couple of years, at least manga-wise. Anime probably got another 10 years. While Bleach is over, maybe we get the Hell arc. Maybe we don't. If we don't, this is kind of the end of Bleach. You can enjoy the video game, but this is kind of the end of Bleach, as it just fades back into obscurity, and hearing about it from one or two people and seeing people dress up for Aizen in Anime Con. Other than that, that's my reasoning why Bleach isn't as big as the other two in the big three. Still a phenomenal anime, still sold many mangas, so it's very popular, just not as big or as popular as the other two anime. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.